What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into the subject matter at hand, if you want to show your love to the channel, if you want to donate to this channel, you can do so at the link that is in the description box. And, it'd be much appreciated if you want to do that. If you want to do that. Now, I got a couple of things I want to say about this whole situation with Zion Williamson and the NBA draft. First of all, let me turn this off. I know some of y'all be complaining about background noise or television and whatnot. Um, I do believe that the NBA draft is rigged. Okay, I really do. It was, and I've noticed that the draft has been, and people can call me a hater all you fucking want to, but I thought it was very coincidental that Cleveland had so many first number one picks during the LeBron wilderness years. You know what I'm saying? Like interestingly enough, there was a whole bunch of, I remember like a number one picks. You know what I'm saying? There's always a connection with LeBron. And now, of course, the Lakers don't have no one pick, but they got number four pick. And the Lakers, they had a bad record, but their record it wasn't that bad. What was it, like 37-45 or something like that? You know, for them to be that close to New York, and then for New Orleans to get the first pick, and you have Anthony Davis there. There's always been all this talk about Anthony Davis and the Lakers, and now you have Zion Williamson there. It kind of, it's some politics involved in this shit, man. Some trickeration. Like I know some people like, man, you're reaching and shit, man. But it's too coincidental that it seems like in all of these drafts, it was something. Somehow, it was favoring certain franchises. Like one possibility could be the Pelicans now could be more willing to let go of Anthony Davis, especially if Zion Williamson pans out to be the player that they think he can be. If he's a LeBron level type player, then they'll be like, well, shit, we can build around Zion. We can go ahead now and pull the trigger and let LA get uh, Anthony Davis. Even though I know that they would prefer to put him in the Eastern Conference, but still, if push comes to shove, they can do it now. Now that they have Zion Williamson down there. And if you have Zion Williamson down there, the franchise is still saved, like if he plays his potential, you know. But don't be, if you think that politics and ratings and business don't factor into these quote unquote draft lotteries, you're a fucking fool. Poor New York, man. The Knicks, man. Now they have to hope. They have to hope and pray that all of this Kevin Durant to New York, uh, blather has some credibility to it, because if some of the more recent gobbledygook is more credible that Durant might stay, then shit, the Knicks are kind of fucked. I mean, if you're a New York Knicks fan, man, and you made all of these moves to try to get two, blockbuster signings. You know what I'm saying? Like, at one point in time, if you're a New York Knicks fan, you were thinking, damn, can we hit the jackpot? Can we get Zion and Kyrie and Kevin Durant? Now, Zion's out the picture, and it's looking like Durant might be shifting out of the picture a little bit more. And if Durant's gone, Kyrie's not going to go there by himself. So it's like, you got to hope It's Kawhi's not going to go there. I don't think the Knicks are just Knicks. The Knicks are going to turn into like the shit. There really is no current. The Bulls, the Knicks and the Bulls. Who would have thought the Knicks and the Bulls in the '90s would be the two joke franchises in the Eastern Conference in the 2000 teens? Yeah, we had a little run with Derrick Rose, man, but you know, Knicks, man, they've never really had a. When the last time the Knicks had a marquee like signing or draft pick? Patrick Ewing, and then when the Knicks have gotten some guys, man, like fate just comes in, man, and just fucks everything up, man. Remember uh, when they had Antonio McDyess, man, and McDyess was going to change the franchise around, then he gets injured and never the same player again. And then Allen Houston was starting to come into his own, man, and he had a couple of years going. He had a year when he averaged over 23 points per game, dropping 50 against the Lakers. I don't know, he put a 53 at Madison Square Garden, I think it was, or 51 to 2, and then his knees go. It's like the Knicks just can't. They just can't, man. Stephon Marbury, they just can't get over the hump, man. But back to Zion Williamson, I saw something where his stepfather was saying that he's excited to be playing with the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's talked to the general manager and certain personnel there, and expressed his excitement and enthusiasm for playing for the franchise. But I just don't see that. You know, I think that's lip service, man. A picture tells 1,000 words. All right, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. Whatever the hell that phrase is. We all saw how he reacted to his name being we all saw his reaction to seeing who had the number one pick, and I didn't see excitement. I saw at the very least shock, and I saw some disappointment. You know, because nobody seems to want to play in, as LeVar Ball called it, the cold and dark of New Orleans. I didn't know that it's like midnight all the time. Down in New Orleans, or it's like like Mudbone say, the sun came up early one morning. If you didn't get your ass up early enough, you missed it. Down in New Orleans, they ain't had years down there. Called it hard times. Yeah, that's what it was called down there in New Orleans. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just think that me personally, I think a lot of these dudes are too pampered in some ways. Now, I don't want to sound like one of these guys like, these players today, when they really mean, these uppity niggers today. I'm not one of these guys, man. But some of these dudes, they whine a little bit too much, man. Like, look, Tim Duncan was drafted by a team that I think won only 20 games a year before. That was because Dave Robinson was injured, but still, we didn't know how Dave Robinson was going to be after that, okay? I don't think Tim Duncan whined and complained, I'd rather be drafted by the Lakers, or I'd rather be drafted by this team or that team, you know? And he went on to win 5 championships. Jordan, the Bulls were a laughing stock. They only won 27 games a year before he got there. He took it as a personal challenge, and it took a while. But after 7 years, they won a title. They built something good there. Okay, yeah, some guys get drafted to an organization where they're already winning, and they're the piece that push it further, like Larry Bird in 1979 to the Celtics and Magic in '79 to the Lakers. But a lot of times these guys get drafted, and they ultimately, turn around an organization. If you're that good, if you're a LeBron level player, If you are a LeBron James level player, look what LeBron just did to Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? All kidding aside, all criticisms aside, before LeBron James came to the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were a fucking joke. They were a joke franchise. Nobody wanted to go there. Can anybody remember the roster that was there before LeBron got there? I think their best player was Ricky Davis. That's how terrible a team they were, okay? LeBron James turned that team into an instant contender. And while they didn't win a championship his first go around, ultimately they did win a championship. And you can tell by LeBron's reaction that that was the most satisfying championship that he had. Okay, it was the most satisfying one he had. The ones in Miami were good, but you could tell by LeBron's reaction, the one in Cleveland, that was the most satisfying. So if you're Zion Williamson, look, man, uh, take it as a personal challenge, man. Maybe I know it's some things you might not like. Maybe you don't like the city of New Orleans, man. But look, man, I don't know. Personally, me personally, if Anthony Davis don't want that city, he don't want to be part of that city. You know, embrace it. Make that make that city your own. Make your name synonymous with New Orleans. Make New Orleans the epicenter of basketball. Remember, Golden State wasn't the epicenter of basketball. Michael Jordan is always synonymous with Chicago. LeBron James will always be synonymous with Cleveland. Magic, Kobe, synonymous with the Lakers. Bird, you think Boston. Okay? Zeke, you think Detroit. Be that to New Orleans. That's me, man. If you don't want to play there that bad, if it's that bad a situation you don't want to play there, then you know the way that you could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think there was a rule. There's certain strategic maneuvers he can do to get out of playing there. But, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to play there that bad, then there's ways he can go about it. But me personally, if I was him, I would play there. I would take it as a personal challenge. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the new general manager they have there, Griffin. I think his name was David Griffin. He used to be with Cleveland. So, that's my take on it, man. Tell me what you guys think.